The South Park Street protected bike lanes cover both sides of the street for the entirety of its 1.2 kilometer span. The lanes connect to other infrastructure pieces, as well as facilitate access by bike to some of the peninsula's major commercial areas. In today's video, I'll showcase the bike lanes for both the inbound and outbound directions. As always, I'll be playing a game of +1 -2 along the way. Every time I encounter something that makes my trip safer or more convenient, I'll add a point. Every time I encounter something that makes it less safe or less convenient, I'll take away 2 points. You can keep track of how I think the ride is going by looking at the heads-up display in the bottom right-hand corner. First up, there's a smooth transition from the Bell Road painted bike lanes onto the protected lanes. Between Sackville and Spring Garden, the bike lane is fully grade separated, so it's separated both from traffic, but also on the right you can see it's separated from pedestrian traffic as well. I know it's just paint, but I do still like that the lane continues to be marked through the intersection. Most of the intersections along South Park actually have bike boxes that allow you to make left turns while remaining inside the bike lane instead of merging into traffic. Past Spring Garden, you lose the grade separation and it becomes an on-road protected bike lane. That's not intrinsically a problem, but I will say that this section is very prone to flooding. These transit platforms are smooth to roll over and keep the lane continuous. The slip lane crossing the bike lane heading onto University is obviously not ideal. +1 for how long the lane runs for. It's a good run, but you do get dumped into traffic at Yonge and Inglis. Okay, now let's check out the outbound direction. The paving along the bike lane is very smooth the whole way through. There aren't any real major issues on that front. +1 for positive pedestrian interactions. The South Park bike lanes have a huge advantage in that they cover a major roadway, but also they have really easy access to a lot of commercial properties that allow you to visit businesses in the area. I don't think it warrants taking off points given how often it happens, but the section between Spring Garden and Sackville tends to get blocked in a couple different ways with somewhat high frequency. The first way this happens is that the cap at the intersection with Spring Garden tends to get moved out of place by larger vehicles. And the second is that, especially during tourist season, the lane can get gobbled up by delivery trucks or tourist buses, and so it's not quite as usable as you might think, or as reliably as you might hope. So this behavior is pretty constant at this intersection, and you see drivers try to race pedestrians and cyclists through the intersection. This could probably just be fixed with a leading interval for a bike light and pedestrian crossings. As a quick summary, the South Park Street protected bike lanes are a really useful way of getting around downtown and accessing the commercial parts of the city. Most of the downsides that I've mentioned are probably closer to minor nuisances than actual major problems. The main exception to this would be the intersection with Sackville, which is a bit of a mess in the outbound direction. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching and see you next time.